Oop. Hello again and welcome back to March Payne's Midlife Dolly Crisis. And this week is a little bit special because, well, it is for me anyway, because it is my birthday week. And I'm going to be opening this. So this is, under here, we have a Blythe doll. If you remember last year, I also opened a Blythe doll on my birthday, who was Quintessential Journey. Here she is, for anyone who's forgotten her. She was a little bit pricey, I have to admit, but I think she was worth it, and her stock is really beautiful. And this year we have another special birthday Blythe, who is underneath this box here. So this is not a doll that I imagined I would be getting, purely because of the price of her, and the fact that she was a very special doll. So she was kind of in much demand, I think. So there are several reasons why this doll is so coveted. One of them is that she is an anniversary doll. So she was the 20th anniversary doll for the Takara Blythes. She was also the final Blythe doll that Takara produced for the Blythe line. And she's also the darkest skin tone out of all the other Blythe dolls. So her skin tone was called Choco, which isn't that glamorous, I wouldn't have thought. I thought Cocoa would have been nicer, but no, her skin tone was called Choco. We haven't really had much sort of skin tone variations, to be honest, with the recent Blythe dolls. So this is still the doll with the darkest skin tone. So obviously there are a few reasons why she is a special doll. So I'm going to lift this. Now, I bought this doll secondhand, first of all. So this is the box that she comes in. Now, she has already been opened by the person who had her before, who I bought them off. So that's kind of the hard part done, really. So I've basically just got to get all the bits out of this. But let's have a quick look at the box. So it's a black box anyway, and then we've got black sort of lace patterns on it. We've then got all this kind of gold all around here, because obviously it's 20 years. And here we go, 20 years of love, 20th anniversary Blythe. If we have a look around, there's probably not really much else. It's just a pretty standard black box. But very, very sort of simple and elegant. She was from 2021. I should have mentioned that earlier. But yeah, so she is a few years old now, obviously. So I am going to get her out of the box and get all the bits out that she comes with, and we'll have a look at her then. Okay, so here we go. So this is her with all of her stuff. I think I'd forgotten that she actually comes with a second outfit, which is kind of unique, really. So this is the outfit that she comes in normally, and then the second outfit is here, which is black and lacy. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it properly because of the light, but I'll try and get some better shots of it. I'm going to move that out of the way for now, because let's have a look at the doll first. Well, actually, look, let's just look at this first. We've all seen these. This is basically the doll stand. So it is white and transparent with some sort of golden glittery bits in it, and the waist clip is also the same. That is also sort of white and transparent with gold bits in. And actually the plug bit that you put into the bottom section is also made of the same sort of plastic. So let's clip that together. Now I think maybe with this one, similar to Quintessential Journey, this is quite a big clip, so it might actually go under the dress and sort of grip her around her hips, rather than doing it around the waist, maybe on the outside, because it might be a bit tricky to do that. But we'll have a look at that later. So look, that is that. We've then got the other bits to this outfit here. So we've got this, which is a very blurred. So here we go. So this is less blurred. So obviously this is her headdress, or sort of tiara, which is very nicely made. So we have a kind of a plastic band that is going to go obviously around her head, and then the kind of fancy bit here is made out of sort of metallic braiding and sort of metallic lace, and then it's sort of dotted with clear gems. So we've got these big ones at the top here, we've got then a smaller set underneath, and then we've got some smaller ones again just around the sort of crown of the tiara at the bottom. So that is that. So that is quite something in itself, to be honest. But it is sort of befitting an anniversary doll, I guess. So that is the tiara. We've then got a cute pair of shoes. So these are a sort of a white pearlescent heel. They're quite nice. I've not really seen this before, with a sort of a chunky heel to them as well. And because they have sort of rubbery legs, it should stay on. Now, she does come with tights, but I'm not sure if the tights are meant to be with this outfit that she's wearing or with the black outfit that she's got. But I guess we'll see. So that is the shoes. And we've then got this, which is a cape. So the fastening is basically an actual piece of metal chain here, which you put round this sort of diamante button on the front. It's very small around the neck, but I guess, you know, they aren't that big around their body anyway, so that will probably go around the neck. It's mainly the head that's the problem, not the actual sort of neck or body. So this is very nice. It's sort of like a brocade. It's gold and it's got sort of like leaf patterns. I think they're kind of leaf patterns, or almost sort of like plant-like feathers, sort of all over the main part of it. That's done very nicely. And then on the sort of the outside of it, we've got this sort of glittery golden, it almost looks, I don't want to say snakeskin, but I think it's basically a pattern in there, but it's not a snakeskin pattern. I think it's basically the same sort of pattern as this, but it's kind of like the relief, I suppose, in that you're seeing bits between them, that the gold bits are kind of between them rather than forming the actual object, if any of that makes sense to you. I hope it does. Explain it to me in the comments, please. So there we go. So that is her cape, which is, I guess, full length. It's also lined with a very thin sort of silky material, and that is also kind of golden colour as well. I don't know if the colours are going to come out properly because the light isn't great here, but it is kind of like a sort of a bronzy goldy colour, I would say. So that is that. Now let's get to the doll herself. So her hair actually feels okay. I don't know if she's been given a hair spa. I seem to remember the seller saying that she had given her one. So that might be why it's not too bad. It does still feel a little bit on the sort of oily side, but it's not so bad that I think, oh, I'm going to have to give her a hair spa straight away. So she comes with a sort of a mixture of browns in her hair, and I don't know if you're going to see that properly either. It's not jet black, basically. It's kind of made of dark browns and lighter browns. It's got a really nice sheen to it. And obviously she's got a kind of like the straight fringe at the front. And there is sort of a slight wave in her hair as well. And that is very long. That kind of goes to almost her feet, but it's kind of like a mid-calf, I would say, at the back there. But the hair is actually very beautiful. And as I say, it doesn't feel completely horrible. So if we come to her face now, so let's have a look at the eye chips first, shall we? So we have got this sort of orange eyes. I will try and get better pictures at the end so you can actually see the colour of the eyes, because I'm not sure you're going to see them properly. But they're kind of like the sort of the amber eye, I would say. So that is that. She's then got these bright sort of teal coloured eyes there. So they are side facing. We've then got this, which is, I think this is kind of jet black. Actually, there's a bit on there. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of like a jet black eye, which I kind of like it, but I think it's quite unusual to have that. So there's no sort of detail within the eye. It's literally just kind of like black. And then finally we have got another blue colour, which is side facing. So the rest of her face, again, you might not be able to see it properly. Actually, that's probably a better angle. So obviously she is shiny face. They all have shiny face. So she has got blusher on her cheeks, which is sort of like a deep pink. She's got eye makeup again. I think that is kind of matching the blusher. So that too is sort of like a deep pink or almost like a maroon colour. And her lips are also a sort of a brownie maroon colour as well. Actually, I should show you the pull string because it's quite unusual. So it's got, instead of a ring pull, it's got these numbers, because obviously she is 20 years of love. So she's got a 20, a golden 20 hanging there. So let's have a look at the jewellery. So she's got some amazing earrings. We have a look at this one here. So we have a gold bit that goes into the ear. We've then got sort of jewels hanging. So we have, I think, like a smoky coloured jewel that sort of hangs, and then the sort of loop around it, which are more sort of clear coloured beads there. And obviously, you know, it's the same in both ears. To match these, we've also got a choker. Again, the middle jewel is sort of like a smoky colour, and the actual beads around her neck are a clear sort of crystal there. So the gown is quite something. It's kind of almost a bit sort of like Grecian in a way, I suppose. I think because of the way that it's only on one shoulder, and there's sort of pleating here. Let me see if this will come off. So this is a sash that she's wearing. So she's actually wearing this sort of sash here, which says Miss 20th Anniversary. And it's also got this sort of diamante motif here at the bottom, attaching it. I wonder if this will come off. I think, yeah, it's just a press stud. So let me remove this, and then we can have a closer look at the dress. If I can just show you the other side of the sash, we've got a gold braid there. I mean, this is very nicely done. Obviously this is sort of printed on there, but it's printed on in gold, and we've got sort of gold edging all the way around. So that is very nice. I'm going to put that to one side. So this dress is very dramatic. As I say, it's only over the one arm, and she's got a kind of a flowy bit over the shoulder that we've got there. There's pleating at the front here, and then there's pleating around the waist as well, which is not, or is it a separate piece? Yeah, so it is kind of a separate piece actually. but it is attached as well. So although it is part of the dress, it's kind of not part of the dress at the same time. You know, it's a separate piece that they've made to look like the belt. So that is actually Velcro, which I suppose that's all right. I'd be worried about the fabric kind of pulling, which I think it might have done a little bit on the front of the dress here. So this is a very fine material that they've used. It's white, maybe a kind of, I'm going to say organza like I know what it is, but maybe an organza. And obviously it's very flowy and it falls very nicely. There's obviously a lot of nice sewing in this because, you know, it doesn't have any raw edges or anything like that. There's also stitching around here. Obviously I mentioned the pleats that she has at the front here. But also underneath this, there is another dress, basically. It's kind of covering a dress that's sort of underneath the drapery. Although you can't sort of remove it and use the other dress, I don't think, or can you? Actually, yeah, maybe that is a separate piece altogether. That would be cool, wouldn't it? There's actually quite a few layers here. So underneath this bit, so this bit is kind of a gold glittery sort of underskirt. And again, everything is really nicely sewn. There's a slit up it here, which reveals that she is wearing a sort of a petticoat, a net petticoat. It's not quite a crinoline because it's not really giving it any shape, I don't think. But that is quite nice. And under that, she is wearing actual proper knickers. So she's got sort of lace knickers on. So normally they come with those sort of crappy, unfinished pieces of material which they've sort of just stitched up one side. But these are like nice proper knickers. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be great because they're obviously just pure lace. So, you know, but they are pretty looking anyway. So that is that. I'm going to see if I can remove this bit and see if there is a dress underneath or if it's all one piece. Okay, so the whole thing wraps around. Oh, and then it does come off. So that's good. So that is like one section, which is all the sort of the drapey fabric. And then underneath we've got another dress, which is sort of golden and sparkly and also very nice. So that is another sort of floor length frock under there. And then underneath that we've got obviously the petticoat, which I've already shown you. So it's quite nice that they're separate pieces because you could actually use this separately to this. This you probably wouldn't want to use on its own because obviously you'd see a lot of her because it's very see-through. But yeah, that is kind of the overdress to that. So I'm going to put that to one side. I guess we should probably change her into a second outfit. So I'm going to go and do that, which is actually, let me show it to you first before I start fanning around with that. So this is a two-piece. As I mentioned, it's black, so you're not going to be able to see it very well, I wouldn't have thought. It's black lace. So this is the skirt part. And again, this has got quite a few layers to it. Actually, I'm lying. It's got 2 layers. So we have a black bit of the underskirt there, and then over that we've got the lace part. And we have this really nice sort of lace around the waistband there as well. This does up again with Velcro at the back. Along with that, we have got a matching top. Here we go. Hopefully you can see this. This has also got Velcro on the back of it. This is an off-the-shoulder sort of top that she's got, which I think is quite cute. You'd have to be very careful with this because there's nothing under this. This is basically just lace. So obviously when you're putting the arm through, you'd have to be very careful you're not going to pull something or, you know, accidentally rip the lace or anything like that. But yeah, so that's a really nice piece as well. Okay, so here are the tights. They're very nice. They're very gauzy and see-through and probably quite delicate. They're a sort of a dark tan colour. I don't know if they would go necessarily with the black outfit or whether they would go with the main sort of, I don't know what to call it. They're almost like a prom dress in a way. But, you know, the kind of main sort of white and gold outfit. I think either way there would be a struggle to get on. So I'm not too concerned. Because in a way you're not really going to see them anyway because, you know, the main dress is long and also the black dress is long. So it's a nice thing to have, but you're not necessarily going to see it or notice that it's even on. So that is that. So look, first, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to dress her up properly with her tiara and her cape. And I'll put the sash back on and we'll have a look at her like that. And then after that, I'm going to put her into her second outfit, the black lace one. Okay, so here she is in her full regalia. I wasn't able to tie or do up the cape. So that's why it's kind of hanging a bit like that. I'm sure there's a way of doing it. It's very fiddly. Trying to get the chain over the sort of the button isn't very easy to do. And I think it kind of, there's a lot happening around the neck with the necklace and stuff like that. So I don't know if you can actually do it up with the necklace still on or what. But she still looks good. And obviously if she's on display, you're not necessarily going to notice that. And, you know, she's not going to be moving around. So it shouldn't sort of drop off or anything like that. It's quite a kind of a stiff material as well. So it kind of keeps its shape, which is good. So it's not like to kind of just sort of fly off or anything like that. But look, so here is her with her tiara and everything on. And obviously we've got the long dress, which goes all the way down to the ground. So that is her sort of, her regal look. And then I'm going to swap her out and put on the more sort of casual but still very elegant look, which is the black lace dress and top. Okay, so I have to admit that was a little bit of a struggle getting her into this dress. Firstly, I wasn't really sure if the sort of the top bit or the bodice or whatever you want to call it was upside down or not. It fastens very oddly at the back in that it doesn't seem to fasten straight. It's almost at an angle. It's very strange. Also be very careful when you're putting this on because her fingers, or at least her thumbs, will kind of poke through the lace, and obviously if you pull it you're going to end up ripping it. There's also a Velcro issue with this because the Velcro on both the dress or the skirt part and the actual top part can obviously end up getting stuck on the lace, and then if you pull it, obviously you're going to have issues there. Also, be mindful of what you're keeping on her when you're doing this. She's still got the white knickers on, but I've had to sort of pull them down a bit so that you can't see them poking out the top of the waistband. I mean, all in all, I think it looks good. Whether or not it's going to look on a camera, I don't know, because obviously it is very dark, so you might not be able to see all the details. It looks great. I like it on her. Whether or not she'll be staying in it for very long, I don't know, because obviously it is a black material, and we all know that black clothes on dolls is not always great. Even if the doll has a darker skin tone, obviously it can still stain. So, yeah. It's also nice to actually have a bit of diversity in a collection, and to be honest, there hasn't been much up to now with the sort of the stock Blythes, or, you know, the licensed Blythes, which is obviously a huge shame. And again, it's one of those things that the kind of the clone dolls or the AliExpress Blythes, whatever you want to call them, seem to do much better in that they do have an array of skin tones, an array of textured hair, you know, hair you're not going to get from the actual licensed Blythes. But look, what do you think of her? Do you like her? Are you a fan of her? Do you have her? Have you had any issues with her? I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and please share the video if you know anyone else that would like this kind of content. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. So until then, take care. Bye.